forward. We're not looking back, and there ain't no stopping us now. What awaits you is right in front. It's something new, and it's just for you. So join me for that new thing, starting now on A New Thing Live. Well, hello. Oh my goodness. It is the day of love and it is here. Are you feeling the love? Have you been loved? I hope the answer to those questions is a solid yes, because we are loved. I keep reminding people, hey, it's not about being single or it's not about your situation with your relationship status. Really, today is a day to celebrate people that you love. There's at least one person that you love, then you are blessed. And if there's not even one person that you loved, well, here, guess what? Jesus loves you and we love you. So that's 2 people, 3 people, if you're including our team. So you are blessed. You are so blessed. So happy Valentine's Day. My goodness. It has been quite the weekend. It's been quite the month already. We're just in the middle of February and so much is going on. But love is in the air. And I'm so excited that you joined us today, whether you're watching us live or whether you're joining us on demand. Thank you so much. My name is Cyndi Galley, and I'm the host of this fun show. It's an inspirational talk show. We give you ways and ideas just to say, hey, you can do it. You got this. There's so many things. You guys have so many ideas, things that you want to do, things that you've done. People need to know the things that you're doing. Some of you are writing books out there and people don't even know that you're writing them. Or maybe you're coming up with this great curriculum for your students and people don't even know that you have the ability to develop that. And so we have so many wonderful guests. And of course, you are all so fabulous too. So we love you. We're so glad that you joined us. So this is an interactive show. So interact with us. Tell us where you're watching from. If we're asking questions, chime in. Tonight's going to be a great night. We have a lot of things about love. And now that I'm thinking about it, I'm just realizing I did not plug in the Instagram link that I wanted to plug in. So I got to make sure to get that. Remind me to get that on the show before we wrap up. Yeah. Thank you so much. But truly, we hope that today has been a wonderful day. Some of you are not watching right now because you're with your loved ones, and that is okay. We're here regardless. We just want to hang out. And you know that we say we provide a safe space, a fun space for you just to come, let your hair down. There's no judgment here. We really love people and we want you to feel accepted. We want you to feel like this is a place where regardless of your beliefs and regardless of your stance, you are here with us tonight. And we're so glad. Okay. So yes, love is in the air. It's Valentine's Day and all y'all, but love is also in the air in the city of Los Angeles. LA is in the house. So congratulations to our Rams. Now, I'm going to be the one doing all of the little shenanigans and all the media. So just bear with me today. I'm hoping everything's going to come out good, but we're super excited. I know I saw that little slide for the Rams, but we just want to say congratulations. We're so proud of you. I have to tell you, in all honesty, I am not a huge NFL football fan, but I live in SoCal. So victory for SoCal is victory for me. And they put on a phenomenal game yesterday. I didn't watch it. But I do know that it was 23-20. The Rams kicked the tail of the Bengals, and it sounds like they came in from behind. So that's pretty cool. When you hear about that, it's like, oh my goodness. So I could not pass up the opportunity. Of course, I woke up this morning and thought, today's my one day off. And so do I want to sleep in or do I want to go to Randy's Donuts and get me a little Rams football donut? So that's exactly what I did. So you guys know I do like to eat on the show. So I'm going to have to try this thing out. Well, this is from this morning. And oh my goodness, blue is falling everywhere. But it's good. It's good. Kudos to Randy's. They were, what is it? Oh, yeah, thank you. They were putting on these donuts, and they also had Pepsi donuts. I was trying to get to the one in LA. Couldn't get there, but so glad that the Rams won because this bad boy was available. So thankful for the one in Costa Mesa, of all places. So anyway, I'm gonna have to finish that later with some coffee and whatever fun little movie, my Valentine, Carrie McPhail, whatever we're gonna watch. And then I forgot to pull up our time together last week. I'm telling you. Anyway, it's all good. It's all good. Okay, so now also, we're in the middle of the Olympics as well. So here's the update. This is not the news, but sometimes people go, I had no idea. In fact, I didn't even know who won, but I just happened to jump on social media and a friend of mine he was at the game and he was like, yeah. And I go, thanks, John. You let me know who won because I had no idea who'd won. But the Olympics are wrapping up this Sunday. And so we're going to give you a quick little standing where we're at right now. We're not in first. We're not in second. But give me some minute. Wait for it. We are in third place right now in the Olympics. And so, that's just a time for countries to come together all around the world. And we just kind of put all of our stuff aside. I've always been a huge fan of the Olympics, but I have to say, with as busy as I've been, sometimes you have to just make that decision. What am I going to make time for? And I haven't been able to make time for the Olympics. I'm just going to be honest. I'm going to be real. And really for a lot of us, I think this is the year where the rubber must meet the road. There are things that that are in your heart that you're supposed to do. And you've just kind of sat on it for a bit. But I'm here to say today, this is going to be my little love talk. Get off of the duff and do it. It's time to get off of the duff. Get on up and do it. And so maybe you've been binge watching Hallmark like every day since Christmas, or I don't even know when they start. Now, granted, I do like Hallmark. I sometimes I go night to Hallmark lullabies. But I don't have time to watch all the Hallmark movies because there's just too much to do. So let this year, even starting tomorrow, say, okay, I get it. Starting tomorrow, just start carving out time for the things that are important to you. Start making a list of the things that you need to work on, those goals, that book, that curriculum, launching that blog, buying that camera so you can start taking pictures, starting your podcast, whatever it is. There are things that you're supposed to, going back to school. You know what it is. Our Kiri, she's going to acting school. I mean, people are doing these. They're feeling that stirring and they're saying, I need to take the next step. So I'm going to encourage you to take the next step. Of course, watch the games, watch the Super Bowl. I just didn't have time. If I would have watched it, I wouldn't be here now because I had all kinds of prepping to do for tonight's show. So I just say, with all love and sincerity, really take the time to write down what's important. And you've got to start making these decisions. I know that for me, there's something in April that I really feel like I'm supposed to be a part of. And well, it's where I graduated from. It's not our reunion, but it's our school's alumni weekend. And our class is actually being honored, San Gabriel Academy, class of 1987. And I felt so stumped and floored, but I already know where I'm supposed to be that weekend and that day. And it was like, are you going to wait another year? Or are you going to do what you need to do? So some of those decisions are going to have to be made. And we're just saying, do it. Do what you know you need to do. And we're behind you. If you need to email us, if you say, I need a little bit of prayer, I need some help, I need y'all to pray with me. Yes, we will pray with you. Okay. Now, for those of you that know, we love fashion. I happen to be the editor-in-chief of 2 fashion magazines, Fashion Magazine and Teen Fashion Magazine. So I like to be in the know when I'm not at New York Fashion Week, which has been a few years since we've been. And especially with the pandemic and everything, that kind of put a big kibosh in everything. And then now with things reopening, again, it's like what matters most? Thank you, Franklin and Stephen Covey. So what matters most to me right now is not being present at New York Fashion Week. But I do have that FOMO. There is that fear of missing. I was like, oh, what am I missing? I know Tory Burch had her show today, and Ulla Johnson and Altuzira, they had theirs yesterday. And I just love seeing what the designers are coming out with their new lines. And it's just this creativity and buzz, and you meet fabulous, fantastic people. And then you keep seeing them from fashion show, New York to LA, Palm Springs, wherever you're going, you're seeing them at all these same places because you're all in that same industry. And so for those of you that care about Fashion Week, just be on the lookout for some of the magazine articles and newspaper articles that are coming out. They're showing you what to look for and what styles to be looking for and looking out for. So yeah, just for those of you like fashion, do take a look. I have to say my favorite, actually one of the ones that I saw at Proenza Schuler, theirs was actually very beautiful and very elegant. I love their style. It's European, but it's classic. It's not too much. It's not too over the top. But sometimes I do like to be over the top. But the backdrop music was a symphony. Oh, girl, it was gorgeous. It was gorgeous. But it reminded me of Burberry. I can't remember what year theirs was. And if I could remember, you'll have to get me the name of that artist. It's like Clement or Clementine, or he plays a piano and he was singing about angels. And I mean, literally everybody's eyes were just on him. And it was this most gorgeous, magnificent masterpiece of a fashion show. And it was Burberry. We'll have to get you the information because I'm going to want you to know. And I'm probably going to want to put that up on YouTube. Even though it's quite a few years old, just gorgeous. It was truly a breathtaking moment. Yes, Benjamin Clementine. Thank you. Beautiful. Just so gorgeous. So we will have that YouTube up on our website because it was phenomenal. For those of you that like fashion. Now, if you don't like it, then it's all good. Football, fashion. Some people like both. Some people like one or the other. Some people like none of them. So whatever floats your boat, but we are going to put it for those of you that do like fashion. Okay, so we do want to know, though, how you spent your day. Let us know. Did any of y'all get engaged? I was thinking back to a few years ago, one of my roommates, she got engaged on Valentine Day, and they put that thing up on maybe KTLA. It was local news, and it was actually quite phenomenal. She didn't know he was coming, and she was at the park, and somebody was in front of him, and we got to see it unravel right there on KTLA News. It was so wonderful. And so Ashley and Mark, of course, married now, and beautiful baby. And I don't know if I can make any other announcements, so I won't. But we do want to know, whatever you're doing, we do want to know, because we want to know what's going on in your world. Okay. Now, I did have a fun recipe from a dear friend of mine in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We're going to save that for the very end because we do want you to see like what other people are doing around the globe, around the state, around our nation, or in the state. But we just want to make sure that we're just kind of giving you little nuggets of love through recipes and videos, and that you're just, feeling the love. In fact, I'm cracking up. We're going to bring something at the very end of this show, and you're going to be cracking up. You're going to go, oh my goodness, you guys are over the top. Now, going to shift gears a little bit because tonight we really wanted to talk about loving yourself. And that could be so many things. It could be loving yourself where you're at in life. Now, I know that we go through hard things, and I know that sometimes we've done rough things. We've gone through rough things, and sometimes it can be easy to be so hard on yourself. I know sometimes there were seasons where I would just talk bad to myself. Oh, you idiot, you're so dumb, and things like that. And it's like, if we would just hear ourselves, like, you are worth so much more than talking to yourself. You don't deserve to be talked to like that from anybody else, and also from you. And so here we're really going to try to foster a place and make this a place where you learn to love yourself. And of course, some of those things are trendy, like treat yourself, love yourself. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, no, really. I'm saying we want you to love yourself, love who you are. the things about you that make you unique. I know last week we had Pastor Anna Irvelino, and she's also an incredible life coach. I don't know if you watched last week's episode. If you haven't yet, you're going to want to jump on, maybe put a little save on it, or if you haven't subscribed, subscribe, and then watch last week's episode. It was phenomenal. But, I was sharing with her some of the things that I walked through. I was embarrassed to be who I am. I was embarrassed of my makeup. I was embarrassed even of my racial makeup because of things that people would say to me, whether it was about my hair, the color of my skin, me being too loud, too talkative, all of the above. And people don't mean to be mean. Some people do, but most people, they just say things because they're just kind of talking out of their, you know, maybe trashier parts of their brain, trying to think like, where so they're not really thinking, they're just like spouting it off without even realizing like that could be very harsh. And what I'm saying could be very heartbreaking. So a lot of you probably like myself had to walk through some of the painful things that had been said about you growing up as a young adult in high school. Sometimes I said horrible things to people in high school that I go back later. I was said, "Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry." When you remember those things, and it's like, well, I was going through a really tough time, or my family, they were, my mom and dad were getting separated, and there were just things that were ugly that were going on in our home. There was drug addiction in our home. There was alcoholism in my home, and I was very broken, but it didn't give me the right as a junior higher or a ninth grader to sometimes just be mean and to be nasty to people. Anybody can be nasty, but we want you to be loved, and we want others to love you. So we're just saying, okay, who can we have on the show loving yourself? And this woman who's coming on tonight, she's a pretty incredible woman. You're going to be so impressed with who she is and the things that she's done. And she's very humble. She's very confident, but she's a very humble woman, and not a lot of like fluff and all of this. She's just very like straight to the point, and I just adore her. But so, we're in a day and age right now where like people tell you, well, your identity is this. It's based on how much you make. It's based on where you live. It's based on whether or not you're married. Or are you single? Oh, if you're single, then maybe you need to be married. Why are you still single? And there's all these external pressures that people want to put on you. And really, why do we need to do that? Who's asking you to do that? I'm not asking you to try to set me up with anybody, because right now I'm wonderful right where I am now. Not to say if you feel that little nudge from the Holy Spirit, then that's something different. But if you're just saying, oh, we need to get her set up, we need to get her married, then I'm good. I'm good. And so this woman is also in that category, and as well, she is in the modeling industry. She is a plus size model, and so she's going to talk about some of those things as well. She's also single, so she's going to address some of those things as well. But I'm excited, just especially even in the world of fashion, seeing the shift from all the zeros and the twos. Even one of my favorite movies is The Devil Wears Prada. I mean, if that's a favorite of yours, say, hey, yeah, that's one of my favorite too. We want to know. And it was kind of funny about, her being a size 6, and he was looking at her like, no, that is not okay. Well, most of us are not even that small and that size. And so it's not going to help either by me eating these little Rams donuts. I don't eat this way all the time. But you know, there's time. This is the time for us to start saying, you know what? Thank you. I'm good. I'm going to take care of myself. I promise you. But I don't need your pressure. And I don't need society to necessarily be telling me the weight that I should be. I should be healthy. Yes. I need to take care of myself. Yes. I need to be good to myself. So that means, I had to cut out eating French fries all the time. I had to cut out drinking so much soda. I had to cut out eating all of the bread and things that I knew were damaging to my body. I wasn't feeling good. And in about a year, I had already dropped 50 pounds without working out. That's the next thing I know that I need to do. But so yes, we are called to take care of ourselves, take care of our bodies. And so we couldn't think of a better human to bring on the show. And so she's going to talk a little bit about the pushback and how she feels about these things we're talking about. But don't go away, because we still have one quick message before we bring her out. We're super excited to bring her out. But just hold on. Do not hit that escape button or whatever, whether you're watching on smart TV. Just stay put. We have actually a pretty amazing ad that's coming up about an online course that we're excited to announce today. So don't go away. We will be right back.
I am single, but I know that I'm strong, because I know that the days that I'm really weak, and the days that I doubt myself, and the days that I still have those insecurities of the thoughts that pop up from my past, that I hear God's voice in my heart and in my mind, encouraging me and motivating me to become everything He has designed me to be. So I am just so blessed to know that God walks alongside me through all my good, all my bad, and all my ugly.
I love that. I love how she said, through all my good, through all my bad, through all my ugly. So this is an online course that we're going to be launching called She is Single, She is Strong. And I know a lot of times with the holidays, a lot of single women can start to feel a little depressed, a little discouraged. For me, it's really not Valentine's Day. What seems to get me almost every year for a quick minute is Christmas. And that's actually when this course was birthed. That whole concept of she is single, she is strong was birthed during Christmas season as a result of me feeling very almost rejected. And goodness, is there nobody? Am I like there's nobody out there for me? And just, feeling like I was too much, because people will tell you, oh, you're too much, you're too loud, you're too talkative, your hair's too big, your jewelry's too loud, your clothes are too loud. And you start feeling like that could be a reason why maybe somebody hasn't said, oh, she's the one. Right now, I really feel like I've never met the one. And I think I shared that. I don't know if it was in a podcast. I don't know. I do so many conversations with different people, but still, this was about 6 years ago. And it really hit me. I was listening to a Christmas station. I was so excited, and jingle bells. And I was, jingle all the way. And then the next song like downshifted to maybe chestnuts roasting on an open, one of those songs. And I just all of a sudden started feeling so, I'm by myself again. It's another Christmas and I'm by myself again. And I just started to feel despondent and rejected and alone. It didn't last for probably more than a minute. And for those of you that don't have a relationship with the Lord, you may not understand this. You may go, what is she talking about? But literally, it's not like I could hear Him audibly, but I had this sense like, no. Like, look at who you are. Look at the things that you're doing. You're single, and look, like you're doing it. You're living life to your fullest, and you have vision, and look at all these things going on around you. And I started realizing like ISIS was going on, and terrorism, and all of these scary things. And as a single woman, even the pandemic was very scary for me, especially in the very beginning, being in lockdown, living by myself. And I was like in this little tiny room connected to a garage. It just felt like really the end times. And I just felt the Lord saying, like, because you're in me, you are strong. You're strong. And all of a sudden, I just felt my chin like, that's right. That's right. I am strong. Look at me. Look at what I'm doing. And I started to get so excited about the fact that I was a single woman, not married to the wrong person, not having settled. And I know a lot of people do. A lot of you may have, and you're saying, oh, you're so lucky because, you didn't marry the wrong person. Well, even for you, there is still hope. So no matter what situation you're in, like God can turn that around. There will be work to be done. In every situation, there's work to be done. We got to do the work. I'm huge on that. Do the work, right? But from that moment, came She Is Single, She Is Strong. And so it's 12, 10, 11, or 12 weeks videos of different women sharing the things that they walked through and the victory they had. And then there's an ebook that goes along with it. There's exercises that you do. We already had a pilot class, and the women, their responses, and not just the responses, but some of them have said, truly, She Is Single, She Is Strong changed my life. And it's not just about the fact that you're single. It's like there's other things too. We get it. Career and finances and health and fitness. So there's other things we will address, but this class will do the work. You're going to be taking a look at some of the things in here, and I guarantee, because we've all gone through it, you're going to come out feeling stronger and freer than you've ever been and ever felt. And some of those blinders and scales that you've had, they're going to come off. They are going to come off. So stay tuned when those classes are all, these will be classes that you pay for, and there will be one-on-one coaching that's available. There will be coaching with some of our team members who are certified coaches. And so we really want to bring you to victory. And some of you might be saying, well, I'm married. Can I go through the class too? I actually have to say that if you're married and you do go through the class, you will get something from it as well. And we can say of you are married and you are strong. Right? Oh my goodness. So anywho, I really didn't want to talk about that as long as I did, but we're super, super excited about the class. So without any further ado, let me chime you in on tonight's special guest. Like I said, I have met some pretty amazing people in life, truly, but every now and then you come across a person and they truly knock the socks off of you because of all that they've done, the places that they've been, and all the people that they've impacted. And tonight's guest is in that caliber. Like, this is who she is. At the age of 28, she was already doing a TED Talk. Come on, somebody. She's authored a book. She's traveled around halfway around the globe, maybe even more than that. And her heart for the hurting youth and women around the world is seen in what she does as an internationally size plus model, author, speaker. And she's a spoken word poet. I'm like, dang, girl. But more recently, she's become an ambassador for the Whosoevers. She's going to be talking a little bit about that as well. But her story of overcoming past hurts of childhood rape, trauma, abuse, neglect, broken homes, addiction, depression, cutting, suicide, and a broken sexuality. This has given her the heart to doing what she does today. And on this day that celebrates love, our heart was to encourage you in loving yourself despite your past, despite what your past looks like, with all of our faults, all of the mistakes that we've made, with the things that we've done. I told you that I had to put all my stuff out there in a book called Promises. And I was a little embarrassed because the chapter that I felt prompted and led to write about was my issues, was when I decided to walk away from the call of God in my life. And I couldn't believe that was the chapter that the Lord was asking me to write about. But here's the thing. I am not defined by my past. You are not defined by your past. We're called to love ourselves in spite of, because of the love that comes so freely to us from Jesus. And so we couldn't think of a better person who walks out the epitome of loving herself in spite of what she's been through because of Jesus. And what she loves most in this world is Jesus and her horse, Brave. I love that. Who, according to Christina, is the sweetest pony in all the world. And oh my goodness, I cannot wait to meet him. But would you please help me welcome tonight Christina Boudreau to A New Thing Live. Hello, my friend. How are you?
Hi, Cyndi. I'm doing great. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Yes, it's so good to see you. It's been, I don't even know how long it's been since I've actually seen you.
Yeah, probably since 2017, maybe.
Oh it's been at least 5 years for
Yes,
sure.
at least. Yeah.
Well, it's so good to have you on here today. And I know that I mean, every time I've ever talked with you or I see that you're just always about, you're moving, you're around. I feel like you're all over the earth. I feel like you've gone all throughout the world. And
Yeah.
especially in 5 years, you're just a mover and a shaker. Well, I love that you are going for it, girl. And you've got grit and you're just going for the things that God has put in your heart and the things that he's called you to do. So what things are you on right now? And I want to talk about so many things with you. I think when we were talking about this episode, being that it's Valentine's Day and just, the whole idea of love. Well, of course, you can have so many different people on here, but in my heart, I felt like it needed to be somebody who wanted to talk about what it means to love yourself and to love your body and just where you're at in life and all of these different things. And your face flashed in front. I'm like, oh my goodness, Christina, is she even in the States? And so just talk with us a little bit about, first of all, catch me up on what's been going on. But that is one of the reasons why I just really feel like you were the one that was supposed to come on here with just your heart, the things that you've walked through, all of the areas that you've touched in such a short amount of time. But, how are you doing and what are some of the things that you're working on right now?
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for having me. It's such an honor. And, it's been so cool to see also what the Lord's been doing in your life. And it's just awesome, even to touch base like 5 years later. But, I think, being Valentine's Day, I'm 32, single, and I'm honestly in the best season of my life. I have been single my entire life. And just a lot of my journeys that I just believed, from a young girl is when I gave my heart to the Lord that I wanted my first to be my last. And I'm just waiting on God's best, for my life. But I think so many people in the pursuit of, or in the season of waiting, right, for their spouse or the one, they kind of put their lives on pause. Some people always say, they wait around for someone to come into their life before they fulfill their dreams and their callings. And oftentimes those dreams and callings collect like dust on the shelf and they never get fulfilled. And sometimes someone comes in their life that, people end up getting married and then they live so unfulfilled, even in their relationship and in their marriage, because they never fulfilled those dreams in their singleness. Yes. So, I remember at age 18, when I entered into full-time ministry, I just said, Lord, I knew I was going to be single for a while because I just wanted to have like just adventures with Jesus. I admired like Amy Carmichael and what she did in India. Always had a heart to go to India. So, the last even few years that we haven't touched base, I've spent a lot of time in India and Mexico, touring all over the US with the Whosoevers. The Whosoevers was founded by Sonny Sandoval, who's the lead singer of POD, and Brian Head Welsh from Korn, and my friend Ryan Reese. And, we just tour, schools, youth groups, detention centers, prisons. Like we're just in the trenches, like reaching youth, for the Lord, like hurting youth. And basically, I just made a list, even in my younger, I think every year my list changes. It was actually so funny because tonight I wrote down like a new list of this year and just what this year is with the Lord. And I just felt like I have like 12 things on my list, and each one of those 12 things the Lord was just putting on my heart. Like each one of these things that you're doing, Christina, like they're all so different, right? From modeling, from, hosting a girls' conference to planning a tour for my team in Kenya and Uganda later on this year. Like each one is so different, almost like in an album, it's like each one is so different, like a song. And the Lord was like, I want you to fulfill all these things this year. And I can honestly say that in this season of singleness, I don't even really define myself according to my relationship status, like so many people do. And I think so many singles, right, on Valentine's Day, people are sitting around, they're scrolling, on social media at, what they have, what they don't have. And
where are they having dinner right now?
Yeah. And they're waiting for someone to come in their life before they press play. And so many people, so many singles, their lives are on pause because they're waiting for someone to come to live out their calling. And I just really truly believe that when you're walking in your calling and you know who you are, that's when you're going to be in a perfect season for the Lord to be like, okay, now I can bless you with someone, because you're not waiting for someone to come along. You're instead so lost in the Lord and in his love and on mission with Jesus. And that's honestly the season I've been in. You know, I had taken a break as a plus size model. And then the last year I decided to come back in, totally revamped my whole portfolio. So stoked to be going back in the industry with my, my colorful hair and just who I am. I spent a lot of time in India in 2019 and 2020 to kind of take a break, from modeling and just, even as a missionary. I'm a missionary even in the modeling industry, but I was so inspired to just say, okay, Lord, like I really want to go back in to just show girls around the world what it means to be beautiful in their body, even beautiful and confident in their beauty, because I think society's idea of beauty for so long, even one thing that I loved about what Victoria's Secret recently did, they did away with like the Victoria's Secret angels, which was a very one-track mind idea of beauty. And now they're using like women of all different shapes, sizes, and ethnicities. And so
love that. Yeah.
So I've seen a shift even in the beauty industry. And so I just believe, even as a single person, that how can you expect someone else to love you if you don't even love yourself?
Yeah.
Like, if you don't even celebrate yourself, if you don't take care of yourself. I was literally talking to a couple of my girlfriends about this last week. Cause we're hosting, I hosted these big girls events at my church once a month, and we're in a purity series right now, which is awesome. And we're doing a big Valentine's event next Friday for our girls.
Fun.
We have like 100-something girls that comes, and it's just for the girls at our church, we're just trying to take them deeper and talk about all the girl stuff.
Yeah.
And, we were writing questions, and one of the questions that came about, is that so many women or girls, sometimes, you can kind of see people slowly let themselves go. And sometimes you'll hear the comment, well, there's no one I'm trying to please. Or there's no guy I'm trying to please.
I've said that.
Yeah, totally.
Especially during COVID. Let's just TMI everybody, but like the shaving of the legs was like, oh, I ain't got nobody.
Totally. I'm like, I know, girl. It's like, it looked like it was pretty Sasquatchy for a while. Amazon woman with my legs. So I totally get it. But yeah, so many women, they just go on this thing where they're just like, well, there's no guy I'm trying to please. And so they let themselves go, which tells me that a guy is the reason why they did their makeup and worked out and ate healthy and went shopping and to begin with. But it's like, no, like if you don't love yourself enough in Christ and who God's created you to be to take care of yourself, how is God going to bring someone else in your life for you to love? And you can't receive a love from someone else that you first haven't received from the Lord. And I'm just in a season where it's like, you know what? Even today to church, it's like, I wore my free people dress. Like I had my makeup on, like I look good for myself. I go shopping, like Zara just recently had their sale, a lot of good stuff in the clearance section. I went, got a couple nice dresses, some new jeans, and I just look good for myself,
There you go.
Yeah. If someone else is the motivation for you to look good, work out, eat good, then what happens when that person finally does come in your life? Like it could be the reverse where you just like let yourself go completely because you finally got them or you caught the fish, so to speak. Right. So it's just I don't believe that any person should ever be the motivation why we choose to love ourselves, as God does, especially as a single person. I know a lot of singles, Cyndi, that have let themselves go like hardcore. Because they're not trying to please anyone, or maybe because someone hasn't walked in their life, they completely let themselves go. And so I'm just been honestly in the best season of my life, just really pursuing the Lord, so satisfied in him, so loved by him, have so many amazing trips planned this year, so many beautiful things the Lord has for me. And I just really believe that as a single person, it's so important for you to be whole in your singleness. Because so many people, they're like, oh, someone else will complete me, right? Especially on Valentine's Day, everyone's celebrating love. But I can't tell you that I know so many people, even in their relationships or marriages, that feel alone, that don't feel loved, that don't feel seen or known or heard.
Yeah.
And if being in a relationship or married equals love, but most people in a relationship or married don't feel loved, then that just shows you that Christ is the only thing that will equal love in your life. A relationship with him, being known by him, seen by him, heard by him. And that is a relationship with Christ is the only thing that could truly give us our worth and our identity.
That's right.
Not a relationship, not a man, not a marriage. And relationships and marriage is a beautiful thing, but it's when we put our identity and value in that, then we will be highly disappointed, you know? And so I just love singleness. I just love not single. Well, I do love my singleness, but I love singles so much because I believe even within the body of Christ that, especially in church culture, you know, Cyndi, so many people, even as, you know, even me being single, sometimes like it's people's goal to like set me up with people, like being single is a plague or a disease that they're trying to cure. Right.
Yes.
And so many singles in church often feel like that being single is a disease that needs to be cured and that it isn't celebrated. But one thing I love about singles is that they're singles that I know are out there going on missions trips, changing the world, leading small groups, you know, like are the hands and feet of Christ, like in so many different ways. And if we choose to celebrate singles and say, what is your dreams? Go out and pursue it and choose to empower them that way instead of choosing to, you know, set them up with someone and make them feel left out if they don't have someone.
Right.
And I believe the kingdom of God could be advanced in so many amazing ways if we choose to empower them, which is why I always tell people, whatever your relationship season is, single, married, or dating, whatever, find your satisfaction in Christ. But number one, don't stop pursuing him and don't ever stop pursuing your day. The three things that I would encourage people with is, number one, to take your focus off of man, to take your focus even off of yourself and to put it back on Christ and to ask the Lord, who have you created me to be? Because I've met so many girls and even guys who in the pursuit of, you know, just living their life, they find their identity in someone else. They allow someone else to tell them who they are. Like I know some guys and girls where because they wanted someone so badly, they changed their likes and hobbies and everything to get a guy or girl. And I'm like, you're not even into that. And I've done that in the past too. To where on the other side of that, they don't even know who they are. And so it's really like going back to the Lord to say, God, who do you say that I am? And even tangibly writing down, like, what are some of the things that I love? Discovering who you are, like going on a journey of self-discovery with you and Jesus, like putting dating on the shelf. Even if you're in a relationship or you're married, have a journey where you find who you are in Christ again. Say, okay, like kind of like discover your likes. Because in every season it looks different, right? Like even in my younger 20s in high school, loved surfing, was all about it. I hurt my back. I can't really do a lot of that anymore. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go to skateboarding. But even in like now, like, and then like, you know, last year I got my horse, you know, and so like I don't do a lot of skating anymore. I'm more enveloped in my horse. That you just change over time and your likes change over time. And even in this season, I'm so busy that one of my buddies is riding my horse more now. And I'm able to kind of do more ministry and skate and stuff like that, you know, and so really just discovering who you are to where when you know who you are in your identity and the things that you love, you won't compromise on those things. And you won't, like, even if you meet someone and they like something, you're like, oh, that's cool. Like, but you're not going to like all of a sudden be like, oh, well, like I'm all about that when low key you're not really about that, you know, like whatever it is. Like, for example, like Super Bowl today, a lot of people are about the Super Bowl. All my friends were like, oh dude, like what Super Bowl party are you going to? And I was just like, I'm not going. I'm hanging out with a couple of my high schoolers after church. I need to take my horse out. And then I have, you know, speaking engagement Monday. Like I'm really just trying to chill, you know, like been traveling a lot and people just didn't know what to do with that. But I wasn't going to pretend to like something that I really just not really into. Like I played basketball growing up, but I can't really say that I even watch a lot of TV, let alone like sports, you know? And so, that's just an example, you know, but I would definitely say, you know, find your identity, you know, in Christ, discover who you are. The second thing I would definitely say is that really sit with God and say, God, like, what are the things that you've called me to do? Like one of my favorite pastors from the East Coast, his name is Ken Graves. He's kind of this like really gnarly dude. And he has this book called Master Mission Mate. And he talks, you know, to encourage singles or whatever, where he says, know who your master is, which is Christ, right? Find your mission. Like, God, what is my calling? Like, what have you called me to do? What are my passions? And in that, he's like, write down tangibly a list, kind of like what I did, you know, like if you're called to go on a missions trip, write that down. Like that job, that, you know, that vacation with friends, like whatever it is, like whatever your dreams are, writing that book, starting that small group at church, serving with the youth, whatever your dreams are, find your mission so that as you're walking in your mission, God will bring you a mate to match that mission. So find your dreams, discover your dreams, and walk in them would be number 2 that I would definitely say. And number 3, you know, just surround yourself by a community of people that truly celebrate you. And in the season you're in, people that just truly celebrate you. Because when you surround yourself with a community of people that celebrate your dreams, like what I said in point 2, and then celebrate who you are in Christ, which is point 1, all like you knowing who you are in Christ, and then you walking in your calling, and then surrounding yourself with a community of people that support those 2 things, you're going to be in a sweet spot. Because if people in your life are not on the same page as you, that can really deter you from walking in your calling and also knowing who you are in Christ. So it's really important to have a high caliber of people in your life that are truly cheering you on and who want God's best for you.
So good. Such wonderful nuggets. And my goodness, I mean, to me, that's something that would apply to both married and single. If you can get those 3 things, oh my goodness, you're just going to really be able to focus on, I don't want to necessarily say your true north, but kind of, you know, and I love that whole idea of self-discovery, because I feel like people don't know what they like necessarily because they've just allowed themselves to be swayed. I remember being in a relationship when I was 18, 19, 20. And this guy, I mean, I was so in love with him. He was the wrong guy for me, you know, and 2 totally different cultures. But not only that, but he was so into sports. And he was from Michigan. And so like everything that was in my room that was all girly, I loved all of, you know, lipstick and makeup and the Go-Go's and Boy George Culture Club and all of that, you know, it all started changing. If you were to look in my room, it went from like stuffed animals, and all of a sudden I had like Detroit Tigers on my wall and Detroit Lions, you know, poster on my wall, and my clothes. I started dressing because he would give me all these t-shirts and he wanted us to be twins. And I did all of this. I'd wear whatever he told me to wear. I did it. And I totally lost my identity. So then fast forward 3 years, we broke up, and I did not know who the heck I was. I didn't know what I liked, because every time we went out, it was always his music. You know, it's what he wanted to listen to, which was all rap and Houdini and, I mean, Biz Markie, all this stuff. I mean, I like rhythm, of course, but there were other things that I'm sure I would have liked as well. And I didn't know what to do with myself. I'm like, my room, everything. I mean, people would come in and they go, what is this? You know? And I'm like, it's just what I had started to, I guess, step out in, but I didn't really like it. It wasn't me. So then at some point I had to really start just allowing my heart to be healed, and then just allowing myself to go back to like, what do I like? I did like the Detroit Pistons. They were the only Detroit team that I liked, but there were so many things that I liked that were not a part of my life for those, even music. I shut music out of my life. I play the piano and I sing, but he didn't like it. So I didn't do it. And so never again. I mean, that was one of the hardest lessons learned, heartbreaking. Wasn't really walking with the Lord either. So I didn't understand that side of things as well. But absolutely, just beautifully said. People need to find out who they are and discover themselves and really get grounded in who their identity and what they're called to do, and then surrounding themselves. I love that, with people that are going to cheer you on and make, I mean, nobody's perfect. So we're not saying that you're going to be around perfect people and you're going to be flocking around in lilies all day, lily pads, and, and on your tippy toes. But it's so important to have these people that are in your corner and they get you, and they're not trying to change you, but they get you. They understand who you are and what you're called to do. And then whatever they need to do to help you get there, they're going to also put their hand to the plow to help you be that person that you're supposed to be. I love that. Yeah. That's so good. And I want to transition out a little bit, because you said you've gone back into modeling, or you're going back into modeling. So you were out of that industry for a few years. And when I met you, you were a plus size model. In fact, you were our cover girl. I want to say it was February 2016 for Fashioned magazine.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. And it was just so beautiful, because you were talking about, even back then, the importance of loving your body. And you had walked through some pretty traumatic and devastating things, younger in life. And so just to meet you and to hear your heart and to see what God had done in your life, to me was so incredible and so amazing. Talk to us a little bit about the whole industry of plus size modeling. I love what I'm seeing now, and it's definitely become less of a size 0 and a size 2 industry to now I see the acceptance of other shapes and sizes. So important.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing that I really love about, like, even when I started in the curve industry, like, plus size is a size 6 and up, which like doesn't even make sense, because models are like 5'11", and size 6 on a 5'11" frame is still like really small. And so I had stepped back from the industry in a little bit in 2018, was still modeling, still kept my contracts going into 2019. And then it was really, but it was kind of 1 foot in and 1 foot out. Like I pulled a lot of my contracts. I kept a couple of my big ones. And just because I had been with them since I was 18, I just was like, okay, whatever. But then in it was honestly during the lockdowns in 2020 that I think I got inspired again. Cause really, I think with the curve industry, like I think when I met you, I had like a Dora the Explorer haircut for like 5 years, and Dora had to go. It was just a lot, but it was just a lot. Dora had to go. And, I think it was because, when people look at the fashion industry, they think like, oh, there's creativity and all this stuff. But in the curve industry, it was just very one track minded, and there's no creativity. And then when I took a break, in 2000 when I took a break, and then during the lockdowns in 2020 was when I started seeing, that they were using a lot of curve models for like, beauty campaigns and hair campaigns and all this stuff. And at the time I had dyed my hair like white blonde at one point for modeling. And then when I took a break, it was like my hair was growing out. And then my friend was like, hey, let me put some color in your hair. So I had like colorful hair, and my agents actually loved it. But I think I just needed a season away from the industry just to find my own beauty again, because I think I lost a lot of my own beauty in the industry when it came to my creativity, because my agents like controlled my life, like what we posted on social media, like the kinds of pictures we took. Like, even though I was signed with like the top modeling agencies in the world, I would look at my portfolio and I just was like, this is not me. Like, I was so like divorced from who, like, and like, and as a model, like your portfolio is an overflow of your creativity. And I didn't love the pictures that I was taking. And they're beautiful photos, but when I would look at them, I was like, this isn't even me, And so, and that's when I knew that I had to take a break. And so when I took a break, at the end of 2020 and going into 2021 into this year, I completely reshot my whole portfolio. But it was so crazy because the Lord led me to like specific photographers to shoot with.
Mm-hmm.
And after I would shoot with them, all these other curve models started shooting with them. And then they became, so it was so crazy how like I shot with them, and then that became the photographer that everyone wanted their girls to shoot with. And that was awesome. But when I look at my portfolio now, I'm like, wow, this is me. This is an overflow of my journey that I took going to India, going on tour, where I found my own self again, my own beauty, my own creativity. And my portfolio is so diverse. It's so creative. And I really feel like it's an overflow of just who God's made me to be. And I just believe that in whatever we do in life, you know, that whether it's in our jobs or as parents or in ministry, whatever we do should be an overflow of that identity that we have in Christ. Because or else you'll end up like me, where you lose yourself in a relationship or a marriage or your job or in ministry, and that becomes your identity. Like modeling had become my identity, and I allowed modeling to define, to tell me who I should be instead of me taking the reins back. And so I had to take that break. And now going in, I'm just so excited to see what God does. You know, I've gotten such great feedback from the photos I've taken, and I'm just excited to resubmit to agencies. Like I have a couple agencies that I've always been with, but to resubmit to the other agencies that I pulled my contracts from. And even when I was shooting, it was crazy. Like I was shooting like a couple of the beauty shoots that I did. One of them was with the team from Urban Decay, like makeup. It was not for Urban Decay, but it was like with their team. And they were just like, where do you get your creativity from? And I was like, this is just me. And I was just showing them pictures of who I am. And they were like, please don't ever change. Like, we've never met anyone like you, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, like that's when I know that it's like, they were like, you don't wear your hair no, like your hair doesn't wear you, like you wear your hair, you know, like you basically like this is you, who you are. Like you're, you know, from like my skateboarding pictures to like me, you know, being creative, like they were like, this is just you. And that's what's so cool, is that you're not dressing up. Like modeling is dressing up, like acting is dressing up, but they're like, you're not dressing up. This is literally just you putting on makeup and dressing like how you'd usually dress and just taking photos, which to me is like the biggest compliment, like that it's of just what the Lord's done in my life. And it's all glory to him, because it was a journey to discover who I was again. And when you know who you are, it's like, why would I want to be anyone else? Because who God's made me to be is amazing, you know? So that's kind of where I'm at with the modeling industry, and just excited to see what God does. And just hoping to just shine his light to inspire girls, you know, around the world, and just whatever he wants to do, I'm down for the ride.
I love that. And I know you are. I think that's what makes just you an incredible, not just an incredible woman, but an incredible minister as well. Just because of your heart to do that. And I love, you know, it looks like as of late you've been ministering, you said on tour, and I believe it's with the Whosoevers. How did that come into play? And how are you enjoying being in ministry with that team?
Yeah. You know, it's been probably one of the greatest honors of my life. Like I love team aspects when it comes to ministry. And because I think so much of, you know, the culture, you know, at least when I travel to other countries, like it's not, everything's just kind of like people just serve. But I think in the American culture, sometimes it could be so much just about like one person being put up on a pedestal, or it's about this like Christian celebrity culture. And for me, like even my team like is literally made up of like band members from some of the biggest bands in the world. But even for them, like they just love being a part of a team, you know? So when we tour and we speak at all these different events, like we'll like three of us will speak on one night. Like it'll be like 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes. And half the time when we go, they're like, you go first. And they're like, no, you go first, you know, you go first. And it's cool because everyone just has each other's backs, and it's awesome getting to share and minister alongside of people that have truly become my family. And I get to bring just like my youth kids on tour with me, or just different people that we're raising up in the Lord. And it's cool because we've seen just the Lord work so much through like, the youth that are hurting right now. And just so many miracles, so many healings, so many like salvations, so many, just like God transforming people. And so it's just so fun to just be on mission with the Lord. And I'm in a season right now where I've come to a point in ministry where like even at the age of 29, that I did everything I ever wanted to do for the Lord. Like that list I was telling you about, that India was the last thing I ever wanted to do. And so even at the age of 29, I was like, what do I do? Like I've done everything I wanted to do for the Lord, which is kind of a cool place to be. But now I'm in a season where I'm like, okay, Lord, I want to help raise up the next generation of leaders, to help, the 20 somethings, their generation they're going to reach is like the teens, to raise them up, to give them a place, to really encourage them, to give them a place to shine. And so it's kind of the season that I'm in right now. And it's so much fun. Like I love seeing God's kids shine. I love seeing them use their giftings.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't mind. Like I still do a lot of like I spoke like last month, I spoke at like 2 big ministry schools up in Sacramento, and then one down here in Joshua Tree. And I just love inspiring the next generation of leaders to just say like, man, just go out and kill it for the Lord,
Yeah.
And and just encouraging them that, that the journey is hard, but it's so worth it, And so it's been amazing.
I love that. And it's so, I think it's wonderful that you see the value and the need to pour into the next generation. A lot of people don't see that, or maybe they did at some point and then they stop seeing that. I know for me, I think within the last year, again, it's just been that stirring. In fact, during the pandemic, we actually launched Teen Fashioned magazine.
Oh, so cool.
And that was the whole thing. But now we're actually publishing our last issue of Fashioned. It'll be 7 years this year. And we're putting out our last issue so that we can focus solely on this next generation. And most of the team on Teen Fashioned, most of them are high school students themselves. So they're writing and we're coaching them. They're coming up with the articles and we're coming on alongside them. And and so for me, it's like, it was a little bit of a hit when I sensed and knew that the Lord was saying, let's bring fashion to a close. I'm like, wait, what?
It's my child. What do I do? Yeah.
I couldn't talk to anybody about it without crying. I'm like, and I feel like I would start crying.
Yeah.
But I know that this is right. And so, of course, now I'm just so ecstatic and excited about being able to focus on this next generation. There's such a target on their back anyway, in so many areas. With the enemy and people and, trafficking and just all of these different things that are coming at them. I go, oh my goodness, how in the world? I didn't have all that I needed to fight. Competition, comparison, social media. I think it was The Social Dilemma, a docudrama that I saw. I think that was the name. That thing was heartbreaking. Just saying, how kids are getting so depressed now more than ever because they're looking at other kids' lives and they're comparing their own lives to what they don't have when they're seeing these other, peers, people their age, and what they have, or the happiness or the people in their lives. And, they're just, this generation has so much more to fight. So I love that you're going after the youth. And I just have a sense that there's a lot of us that are turning our focus towards this next generation and raising and training. Yeah. This weekend, our church just announced that we were going to be doing, it's called Backyard Revival. And they're believing to fill the Angel Stadium. I think it's the 30th of April. And so I feel like that seats like 40,000 people. I'm like, oh, wow. So I'm excited about that event. I just, caught wind of it this weekend.
Amazing.
So, but absolutely, just like let's pour into these kids. And the kids are the ones that have the boldness. They're the ones that have the courage.
Yeah.
When we see it in the Bible, you see it with David when he's running after Goliath and nobody else was, had the strength or the courage. I mean, he put fear in them all. Nobody wanted to confront him. And
Yeah.
here comes this kid like, oh, I come at you in the name of the Lord of hosts, And so thank you so much just for all that you do and pouring in to this generation, for laying your life down, girl. You're doing it. You're out there doing it. And I think one of the things that I've always admired about you is just it's like very eclectic. Your life is it's not just this one. It's like you've got these compartments, and then together it makes this gorgeous picture mosaic of what God's doing in your life. And so don't ever change. Keep. And I know you won't. Keep being you, keep doing what he's called you to do. I love that you have your precious little pony in your life. So beautiful.
Yeah, she's such a blessing from the Lord. It's just like been a good outlet in the midst of the grind,
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Well, is there anything else that you would want to share with us as we wrap up just this time of like loving yourself? Even receiving love, anything that you want to touch or hit on before we wrap up?
Yeah, I think I think some people, especially in the Christian community, are like, no, like self-love, it's like, it's not good. But it's like, really, like, how can you, like, it's almost like if you were to think of Leonardo da Vinci and the Mona Lisa, right? The Mona Lisa is a masterpiece. The signature at the bottom of her painting defines her worth and who she is. If she were to be like, I don't love myself, like, and just be down on herself, Da Vinci would be like, are you kidding me? You're a masterpiece. And I think that's so much of God's heart for us. It's like, we need to know whose signature is at the bottom of the painting of our life and just walk confidently in that. Like, I had someone last year comment to me, they were like, well, you're prideful. And I was like, don't confuse pride with confidence. Like, confidence is like this person. It was this guy. He was like, you're prideful and arrogant. And I was like, that doesn't even make sense, but whatever. And he was like a younger guy too. He was like 9 years younger than me. And I was like, you just have never seen a confident woman who just knows who she is and who's just walking unapologetically, And because it really is, it's like when you're just confident, like, it's like, I have nothing to prove. And I just love who God's created me to be. I celebrate who God's created me to be. And when you're just in that place, you will be surprised at just, the favor God will give you, the authority you could walk in, the doors God will open for you. Because like, how can you love God's people if you and tell them about their worth if you first don't know your own worth,
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't equate. So I just want to encourage you guys, love who God's created you to be, take care of yourself, like, go to the gym, like, or whatever your workout is, like, go for a walk, like, eat good. Like I'm around a lot of teenagers, so I love sugar, so I will go out with my high schoolers like I did last night and have a large Chick-fil-A, but I'm going to be back in the gym tomorrow, just like take care of yourself. Life is all about balance. Like, take care of yourself. Like, girls, buy that dress, guys, buy that bike, whatever it is that you do, like, just invest back in yourself and self-care. Like, having days where you could just go out and just discover who you are and live out your hobbies and your what you love to do. Just do it and do it unapologetically, and don't wait for someone to validate how cool you are to just like be who you are, So I think when someone is just unapologetic in who they are, sometimes someone might walk in your life that's the opposite of you, but they're going to be like, you know what? I just love that you're just into what you're into. And I'm into what I'm into. And that's okay, because a relationship isn't revolved around hobbies to begin with. It's around a person, Hobbies are very surface level. So, yeah.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us and just sharing your heart and encouraging us all in how to love ourselves and just be in a place where we can even receive love from others. So I think a lot of what you talked about, if we can get some of those things in place, it'll be a lot easier for us to receive love from somebody else when we love ourselves. I think it's all very interconnected. So, but you're amazing, girl. And we just love you so much. And we're going to bring your information up on here. You right now are with the whosoevers.com. Yeah. And so that is how, people can follow you and your ministry, as well as, the Instagram. I believe that they have Instagram, the whosoevers. And just to confirm, I'm assuming that is based on whosoever comes. Is that where it's from?
Yeah.
Whosoever okay.
Him, yeah, will not
shall not perish but have everlasting. Yeah, it was just
from bums to presidents, just whoever believes in. Yeah.
I love that. Whosoever believes in me shall not perish but have everlasting life. Girl, that's so good. So simple. That is just the simple gospel right there.
100%.
Yeah. Well, God's grace to you. Keep doing what you're doing. And I look forward to connecting with you in person in the near future. But you're so loved and you're just so appreciated. And you really do shine. The love of Jesus shines and flows through. And girl, you are not prideful. You are a confident woman. And we need confident women like you. Building up other individuals and being who God has called them to be. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Cyndi. It was an honor. Thank you.
All right. You got it. God bless you.
God bless you.
Wow. So good. Such, there's so many nuggets that she shared. And whether you're watching it for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whether you're in the fashion industry, you like the fashion industry, or you're single or married or have struggled with insecurity, confident, not confident. Just so many takeaways from that interview. But the bottom line is be you, be true to who you are, and not letting other people put their pressures on you. We go through so much of life being man pleasers. And at some point I think we've unfortunately trained ourselves to, working for man and doing all these years. Of course, that's the way that life is set up. However, I think sometimes that carries over into our personal lives. And then we don't know how to separate and stop being a man pleaser instead of saying it's time to take care of myself. So I hope you really chewed on some of that and allowed what Christina was sharing to be digested so that you can make those changes. Hopefully there are some things that you caught that you're saying, I need that. I need to make this change in my life. And I need to be true to myself and the things that I know that I stand for, and the things that I know I believe in or about me, and not let other people tell me how to live my life. Now, I'm not saying don't be like, oh, you don't tell me what to do. I'm not saying that either. I'm just saying when it comes to you and who you are and how you're made up, don't let other people make you feel wrong or shamed or bad just because you're different than them. That's not okay. And so, just take those things, and if you have a journal, whatever, chew on what she shared. So good. So again, she's her ministry is the whosoevers.com. She's with the whosoevers.com, and we will have their information on our website as well. So I love that. You can see she loves herself. She's totally embraced who she is, and that she's like, this is me. This is me. And we all need to be at that place where we're saying, this is me. This is who I am. And I'm okay with it. And you need to be okay with it. Okay. So we were able to pull up that fun clip before we sign off. We're getting ready to go. But I'm trying to figure out, I don't think I can do it because it says video file, extra camera, or slides. So we're just going to have this cute video from my dear friend, Hallie Rossler in Tulsa, Oklahoma. She was sharing on how to make fun. She just makes everything cute for the holidays. Let me see if I can pull it up on my phone and just share it this way. I know I'm crazy. Okay, let's see. Let's see if you can. Oh, see, that's what happens. Oh, forget it. I'm not going to keep trying to figure this out. So I'm so sorry. We will have the video and the link to this cute little treat she makes. She's always making cute treats and the recipe that goes along with it. Now, you know that we love birthdays. We love having birthday parties and celebrating people's birthdays. So before we get off, we are saying happy birthdays to my Aunt Sherry, to my cousin Ramona, to her son, my cousin Jake, to my friend Francesca, and to my other good friend Regina. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. So happy birthday. We pray that this year for you is amazing. We always come out of whatever we come out of, whether it's good or bad. But I always like to say this is a new day. Don't base your today and this upcoming year on what you just came out of or what you just went through. We're saying that this year is going to be your best year yet. And you got to say it and you got to declare and you got to mean it. Like this really is going to be your best year. This is going to be your best year. Okay, we're wrapping it up. Before we go, oh, yes. So here's a crazy. We're wrapping it up with some of our favorite Valentine's Day cards. And so cute. We're going to bring some of the ones that we found. Well, we being Kiri. She's the one. Oh, no, I never uploaded that. This is why we have everything finished on Sunday. It's too late. Oh, wait a minute. Did I download them and I didn't upload them? If I downloaded them, then maybe there's a way you could still see it. Oh my goodness. You guys are probably like, what is going on over there? Are they? Oh, they are here. They are here. I did download them. Okay. So I'm going to download them right now. At least one of them for sure. While that's happening, book of the week is Love Like You've Never Been Hurt. And so this is a book that is by Jensen Franklin. Amazing. Started reading this. Hey, again, sometimes we allow our past to get caught up and then we just get all tripped up and we can't move forward with new things that await us. Have I been the only one that can attest to that? Or can some of you say, oh, yeah, I've been there, done that? If you want to go the extra mile, there is a participant's guide. Right now, a group of ladies and we're going through the book Arise from the Daily Grace Co. And we're actually going to be on our last week starting tomorrow. Actually, starting Wednesday will be week 5 that we're starting. So who knows? Maybe this book, there's a few other books that I have that I think would be great for us. And so I'm super excited though. Okay, so this first cute little card is, oh my goodness, you're the peanut butter to my jelly. Look at how cute that those cute little lovebirds, the peanut butter and jelly. Why is the peanut butter green? Is that green? It's organic. I've never seen organic peanut butter that color. Oh my goodness. Oh yes. Okay, so here's the next one that we love. It was so cute. Is you have ultra fine written all over you. Okay, if anybody comes with you to you with that phrase or that saying that card is like bye-bye. Don't nobody need to come tell me that I have ultra fine written all over me unless it's your spouse. Then we're good with that. We're good with that. You know, sometimes people come up to you and they tell you things that's like, I don't need to hear that. I didn't give you permission to tell me that. Okay. And so last but not least, so cute. And yes, I said cute with a T because it's just cute like that. Fences can't keep us apart, Valentine. Look at that sweet little baby boy. Oh my goodness. Or maybe it's a baby girl. So fences cannot keep us apart, Valentine. And that's what we're saying about you is the screen and this distance and the virtual and the fences and the different homes cannot keep us apart. We do really wish you a happy Valentine's Day. We're cracking up because we did a photo shoot. When was this? January, 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. This Saturday will be 3 weeks ago. And They're still, every one of them are not one of them have popped, right? But that was that day. Yeah. So all of these are still here from this photo shoot that we did almost 3 weeks ago. Yeah, they're great. We got these in Hollywood, somewhere LA. And this was my favorite, is this rose gold. So pretty. Look at that. Ooh. All right. Enough chit chatting. I know y'all want to say, girl, we're tired. We need to go to bed now. But thank you so much for hanging out with us. I really do hope that I shared everything that we're supposed to share today. But you have been amazing. Thanks for hanging on. Thanks for commenting, all the people that joined us. We had some great comments today. Dava, thank you. It was great. And Pat, thank you. She's saying, yes, it was. Earlier today, there was some really funny comments that I was really loving from Priscilla Reisner and Misty. Oh, Misty was talking when we were talking about the Devil Wears Prada, and she was saying her nonverbals are intense. Oh my goodness, yes. Meryl Streep, she played a great villain. It was a lot of fun. And anyway, it was wonderful having all of you on here. So thank you for chit chatting. Thank you for visiting us. We love you guys so much. And we do this for you. This is not for us. We really do this for you because we believe in empowering people. We believe in coming to you wherever you're at to say, hey, you got this. You can do it. And you are amazing and you are loved. So if you've not yet subscribed to our channel, then would you do that? Go on and just head on over to YouTube and do a little search for YouTube, A New Thing Live on YouTube, and then follow us on A New Thing Live, at A New Thing Live. Facebook, we're at A New Thing. YouTube, A New Thing Live talk show. And then if you have any prayer requests or anything along those lines, we do ask for you to, I see we still have a comment up here. There we go. Do email us, anewthing.live@gmail.com. Please do email us. We want to pray with you, for you. We are here for you. And then, of course, just visiting our website where we have everything else is anewthinglive.com, anewthinglive.com. So you guys have been wonderful. We're excited about She Is Single, She Is Strong. So be on the lookout. We don't have the exact dates of that yet, but for you ladies that are single, it's going to be an incredible course. You're watching other women, you're hearing their stories, and then we're doing the work. We're doing the work. To me, it's all about doing the work. You're amazing. We love you. Have a great week. We've got an incredible next Monday night planned out for you. So mark your calendars, and we will see you next week on A New Thing Live. Let's see, how do we do this? Let's go. Happy Valentine's Day. Are you ready?